Hi guys, it's Lianne from Woodhead Co, and today I want to be talking to you a little bit about buying a rental property. The first bit of advice I would love to give you is to become friendly with several agents in the town. There's several reasons for this. The first one being you can ask other agents advice from other agents' properties that they're marketing. The second thing is they give you a good basis to find out any of the below market values properties that come to the market, or even properties that are already rented, that a landlord's considering selling but not convinced by it, and they may already have a tenant in. So the initial outlay will be a lot less than buying an empty property. The second thing I want to talk to you about is legislation. With the EPC laws coming into play potentially in 2025, it is key to make sure you know what you're buying in the sense of how energy efficient your property is. They are potentially talking about every rental property having to be a minimum level of a C. Now, if you look at the market, most of them are around about a D or even an E. So it's definitely worth looking to see how much of a spend it would be to get that property up a level. Or if it is already at C, then you're good to go. Find out, have they got any gas safety certificates on it? Has the boiler been regularly serviced? Have they had any electrical repairs done? Is there an electrical installation report? These are all things that will save you money later on, as long as you know they are in place. In terms of area, that's another big thing. Make sure you know your area. So if you're looking at a town, look at where to stay away from, what kind of property you want to buy for your purposes. If you're an investor that likes to buy for families, if you're an investor that likes to buy for HMOs, you must know where the local schools are, where the universities are, where the main employment areas are, and that will be a good indication on how well your property will rent. So another point that would be good to consider when purchasing a property is if you're going to be focusing more on yield or if you're going to be focusing on return on investment. If you are interested more in how much money you're getting per month, then you'll be looking at yield. And if you're interested on how much capital appreciation you will get with the property, then it's better to look at return on investment. These will be key for your accountant when they come to the end of the year, and also for future planning for any further properties you plan on buying or anything you want to do with your life. The finances are really, really important to get in place first of all, which brings me on to my next point. Always have a separate bank account. Whether you're an LTD company or not, it is always worth having a separate account so everything stays in one place for that one specific property. It's a lot easier for accountant to work out at the end of the year, and it gives you much better clarity month to month how much the spending and outgoings are. Another point I want to make clear at this point as well, if you are looking to purchase your next property or even your first property, it's still worth considering whether it's worth the property being managed or whether you're going to be doing it yourself. If you are knowledgeable with the 300 plus laws that there are, which relates to renting a property out, then yes, you have that under your belt. If you aren't, I would strongly recommend you going to an agent to either seek advice or potentially look at using their services for management. The reason for that is the property industry is moving into a regulated sector, which means that the laws are going to be a lot stricter, and the penalties, unfortunately, that come along with that are something to be considered at an early stage. Another thing that's worth going to an agent about is, again, just advice. You can speak to them. We're not that mean, I promise you. So when you're looking to finance your property, it is always worth going to an independent mortgage broker, which means they have access to the whole of the market. They may be a little bit more expensive than your high street banks, but they may save you money in the future, which is always worth considering. And also, our biggest bugbear as an estate agent is conveyancers. Some are really good, and similarly, some aren't quite as good in terms of feedback and times. With the current market that we're in, it's quite hard to get a property through within 6 weeks, but it is achievable, and it saves buyer-vendor communication breaking down because things are taking too long and people don't particularly understand the process so well. So it is 100% worth paying that little bit more to get a little bit better service. Another point to bear in mind is separate council and licensing. Throughout the UK, licensing requirements are slightly different. So some properties, even though it's not a HMO, do need to have a licence on it regardless to be licensed to be let out. So definitely seek advice from the council as well as your agents. I hope that helps for your next purchase. If you have any other questions, please feel free to give me a call at the Woodhead Co branch.